Hi guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So in this video, I will show you about my groundwater model. And not just that, I'm also telling you and share with you of how a pollution can harm our groundwater system. So let's check it out. So before you proceed with the models and the pollution demonstration, let me just know the basic things about the groundwater. So the groundwater is usually stored into an aquifer. So there are two kinds of aquifer, which is confined aquifer and unconfined aquifer. So what is confined and unconfined aquifer? So first, let's go to the confined aquifer. So confined aquifer here is a thick layer of rock just make a formation over the aquifer and confine it from the earth's surface. However, the unconfined aquifer is basically the rock is open directly at the surface of the ground and it directly recharge the groundwater when the rains come or any precipitation. So that's the basic thing of the groundwater. So this is my model on groundwater. So as you can see here, this is the first part of this model and this is second part. For this first part is representing of the groundwater compartment and this is river compartment. So this sucker here is representing about the pumping well. So this sucker will pump out the water from the aquifer like this. Alright, so the flow of this model is actually the water will flow from the aquifer will underflow to the river compartment here. So just like the environmental. So for the upper part, as you can see here, this is a tissue like or something like plastic here. It's representing the solid waste. So this area is operating the landfill activities. So eventually there will so much of solid waste and there will so much of leachate. So the leachate I will represent here like the coloring reagent so that it will become the pollution toward the groundwater. So for this demonstration, I will just make a quick recap on this model. So this groundwater compartment will flow underflow towards the river compartment here. Alright. So any pollution or any effect from these kinds of groundwater compartment will also affect this river compartment here. So one of the pollution which giving high impact on this groundwater here, one of them is landfill activity. So in this area, they are operating landfill activity which have so much solid waste, plastics, or whatever waste coming from the residential area, from the industrial area, urban area, or any rural area. So, for example, plastics will eventually will give BPA as its bad effect when it comes to landfill, because these kinds of BPA will eventually toxic towards environment and also human, which can cause cancer. So other than that, when we talk about the landfill at this area, it also generates like the leachate water, because this leachate water will dissolve, will also flows all the food waste, all the wastewater coming from the landfill. So when the precipitation happen, so when the rainy day comes, it will dissolve those kinds of chemical, those kind of food waste into the groundwater compartment here. Alright. So as you can see here, this is my leachate simulation. Alright. So, but before I proceed with this kinds of leachate demonstration, so I want just to demonstrate how clean this water before the leachate going through into the groundwater compartment. So as you can see here, if I just pump out the water through the pumping well here, alright, or we can also take the river water as the sample of this clean water. Alright, so the water is very clean. We can see transparent. This is the condition of water, of the groundwater itself, just before the leachate here infiltrate into these kinds of groundwater compartment. So if I just demonstrate how it goes, it will be like this. So the leachate will go through the river compartment, sorry, the groundwater compartment. So, and it comes with the rainy season. Just wait here. So after 5 minutes, the leachate solution infiltrate into this groundwater compartment. So as a result, the river compartment here, the river water condition here is already cloudy because of this leachate pollution coming from the landfill activity. So the problem here is, it's not just affecting the groundwater compartment here. I mean, not just giving a harmful effect to the groundwater here, but then it's also giving its harmful effect to the river compartment here. As we all know, the river water is also our domestic water sources. So we also use this river water for our river supply, for the fish we eat, right? For the habitat like prawn and other fish, so on. So by these kinds of demonstration, it shows that these kinds of leachate pollution is not just having problem with the groundwater, but also having a secondary pollution to the river compartment here. So it is same goes to the real life in the environment. So in conclusion, I'm here is not explaining, not just explaining about the flow of the groundwater itself, but then how a pollution can affect the groundwater compartment and also the river compartment here. So regarding these landfill activities and the leachate pollution here is basically coming from the management of the solid waste, right? The solid waste management. So when there is a poor management of this landfill, so there's low maintenance of the leachate pond, the piping of the leachate in the landfill, so this problem will occur. And as you can see just now, the leachate will seep through and infiltrate into the groundwater compartment, and eventually will also affect the river compartment here. And furthermore, it's also not just having landfill can contribute to pollution. It's also can coming from the agriculture sector, wastewater treatment, and the septic waste. Everything is coming from the poor management of activities. If the agriculture sector or wastewater treatment is running well with good management, so there is no leakage which can contribute to the pollution, so there will be no problem at all on these kinds of activities. But then, so from these kinds of demonstration, it shows that any kinds of pollution coming from agriculture, septic waste, landfill activity which generate the leachate pollution will give high impact to the groundwater compartment here. And it's not just giving high impact to this compartment, groundwater compartment, it's also give bad effects to the river. As we all know, the groundwater will recharge the river compartment here. So that's why when it comes to the pollution of groundwater, it will also generate the secondary pollution to the river. So yeah, when we protect our groundwater, we at the same time can protect our river water. I think that's all for me. Thank you.